FF7 ファンの皆様にはきっと喜んでいただける情報になるのではないでしょうか。もちろん私自身も非常に楽しみにしております。
Are you though? Pause champ.
Boy, oh boy. The price of freedom is steep.
Zach speaking.
Making progress, Zach?
And Gio.
Wait a minute.
I can cut loose, right?
Within reason.
It's showtime.
Wait a minute. Pause champ.
Soldier First Class Genesis. A month ago, he went missing during a mission in Wutai.
You know, I've never actually seen you
It's
use
not
that.
remake graphics.
Don't you think it's sort of a waste?
Use brings about wear, tear, and rust, and that's a real waste.
It's gonna be its own release, surely. It's its own game. It's even got the thing. It's even got this. Is it a 1-for-1?
Project G gave birth to the man we know as Genesis.
Project G.
Project Genesis.
Settle down.
They called him Genesis. I thought they weren't allowed to do that.
What do you know?
Shit, lapdogs!
Okay. I've not played CrisisCore yet, but I'm gonna have to play it soon now. They actually did it.
Hello?
So it's a remaster, right?
Not quite. It's a church.
By the way,
A proper one.
what is your dream? To become first? Is
A
it?
proper remaster.
No, to become a
Well, it's a
hero.
remake, surely.
Ah, good.
So it can fit
Unattainable dreams are the
into
best kind.
the canon. Anyway,
Embrace your dreams. And whatever happens,
I think it will make you right.
protect your honor.
Oh, I know what you mean.
As soldier!
It doesn't look like a PS5 thing, so probably.
Come and get it!
If you say mobile, I say I quit. Yes! Look at that! It's on all of it. It's on everything. This winter! This winter!
さて、
あ
次の映像が最後の情報です。
They actually
それでは
did
どう
it.
ぞご覧ください。
Dang, they did it! Wait, there's more? More Pause champ? Wait a
What
minute.
we've done, that's set in stone. The past is forever. But the future,
Oh,
even if
different.
it has been written, can be changed. So focus on the future, not the past.
He wants to finish what he started. He wants to reclaim his birthright and rule over the planet with Genova at his side. I saw you lying there.
What is going
I
on here?
figured it was too late.
Wait, what are you implying? That I died?
That's the
That I'm
remake
some
interface.
kind of imposter?
You were here with me 5 years ago. Where are you? What happened to you?
I'm trying so hard to find you.
Sorry. Feel like I failed you.
That's the that. Next, I told you 2024. Oh wait, next winter. Wait, bro.
ファイナルファンタジー7リメイクプロジェクトの第2作目にあたるファイナルファンタジー7リバースを発表させていただきました。
2023. Wow.
現在チーム一丸となって鋭意制作中です。そしてリメイクプロジェクトの発表時から複数作にわたって展開することをお伝えしておりましたが、ファイナルファンタジー7リメイク、ファイナルファンタジー7リバース、そしてその先のもう一作の全3部作で完結することをお知らせいたします。ま
Wait,
ず
is
は
that
ファイナ
the
ルファンタジー
roadmap?
7リバースを楽しみにしていただき、ぜひ 本プロジェクトの完結まで
Is that the
お付き合
roadmap?
いいただければと
So
思い
there's 3
ま
games?
す。25周年もそれ以降も皆様にお楽しみいただけるようチーム一同尽力してまい
Kind
り
of
ます。
shaking, I'm not gonna lie.
本日は
I
お
said
付
it'd
き合い
be
いただき
three
ましてあ
parts.
りが
I
とうござい
said
まし
it'd
た。
be 3 parts. Oh my god. Oh. Yeah, it will be just some PS5. Of course it will be. At least for the first year. Hey, wait another year. Wait, hold on. We're going back. We going back. I'm gonna pause things now. Hold up. Did you see it at the start? Wait for it. Wait for it.
What we've done, that's set in stone. The past is forever. But the future, even if it has been written, can be changed. So focus on the future, not the past.
Okay. Oh no, let me know.
He wants to finish what he started.
This? What's this?
He wants to
What's this? What? We're on the same team. This is confirmation they've changed the story, right? There's 3 games. They've changed the story. Like... No, it's not the Khan flashback.
claim his birthright
Oh, it could be.
and rule over the planet with Genova at his side. I saw you lying there. I figured it was too late.
But who's he talking to? Unless he's telling the story, and he's saying he saw Tifa and he thought, oh yeah, thought he saw Tifa and he thought it was too late. Okay,
Wait, what are you implying?
that's Tifa.
That
Yeah.
I died? That I'm some kind of imposter?
Different timelines. Wait. Listen to that line.
That I'm some kind... Wait,
I saw you lying there. I figured it was too late.
Maybe they'll explain why Tifa doesn't die when Sephiroth stabs her. Because, come on, he's like.
wait, what are you implying? That I died? That I'm some kind of imposter?
That's very like different. So I have this in. I am not going to talk about it now because I want to do it during when we're playing the remake. But I have this theory in my head that they're going to go either down a parallel universe or time travel, and I think it's a very good idea. I think that's a very good possibility that they was doing based off what the whispers are. Yeah, it's very sus, isn't it?
You were here with me 5 years ago. Where are you? What happened to you?
I'm trying so hard to find you.
That's Aerith.
Sorry. Feel like I failed you.
She's saying that. And it's called Rebirth. I like that it's not called Part 3. Wow, okay. There you go. So 2023. So realistically, I was close. I said 2024, right? I said 2024 because I told you it would be done after 16. They will hype this up over the Final Fantasy 16 release. CrisisCore this winter and Final Fantasy 16 next summer, and then Part 2 in the winter. Well, I'm still going to say I'm willing to bet Part 2 gets delayed till early 2024. I bet you 5 gifted subs. I'd bet anything on it, actually. I bet it gets delayed. Even then, that's fine. Like they'll do like a soft delay. Because next winter would be very like they're forcing it for Christmas. You know? But yeah. Remake project. That's the first time I've heard it being called that.
にあたるファイナルファン
Told you the whole
タジー
project.
7リバースを発表さ
We'll
せて
do
いただき
CrisisCore
ま
in a
した。
second.
現在チーム一丸となって鋭意制作中です。そしてリメイクプロジェクトの発表時から複数作にわたって展開することをお伝えしておりましたが、ファイナルファンタジー7
Yeah, there we go. And do you know what I like the fact that it's 3
リメイク、
parts?
ファイナルファンタジー7リバース、そしてその先のもう一作の全3部作で完結することを
This is good. So my worry was that we're going to make too many of these, right? Because they would make so many of them because they tried to capture everything. They can do lots of side episodes, but yeah, what you just said, Kyle, 3 parts, 3 discs. That's really cool. Like that's really paying homage to the game. Like I thought it would have been 4 at best, but 3 is really cool. Which means if it falls in line, and they only showed kind of like flashback things in that as well. They didn't show anything else. So reality being, I think it will end as Meteor's coming. Because they showed Meteor at the start of the trailer, right? I reckon that's what I'll end it. Because then that'll be a good opening into part 3. Because then, like, you're starting the game, the world's about to end, the Meteor's coming at you. That'd be kind of mad. Out there, right? So this is the end of CrisisCore. Oh, I've lost track. This is the end of CrisisCore, right? So, you know, when you find the secret ending, the secret scene in 7, this is like that, but they're gonna put it. Yeah, well, that's meant to be a secret that you find, but maybe they'll put it on. Maybe that's the end of part 2. Who knows? But there's theming around Cloud and Zack, which is kind of cool. What is fact? There you go. Right. So I was saying about parallel universes and whether they're in the right universe and stuff like that. What is fact and fiction? The theory crafters are going to go mental with this line. They're going to go bat crazy over it because now they're suggesting that there's different timelines or different, there's like a different version of this game, a different version of the story. It can just be Cloud's ahead to tell. That's very true. It could be like, doesn't even know who he is anymore. It looks like shot for shot. We're going to go back to CrisisCore in a second. I just feel like we have to talk about part 2 first. This is all obviously them walking through to the reactor, I guess. I swear they did like a Genova part.
I saw you lying there. I figured it was too late.
Wait, what
Sephiroth in your party, man. That's going to be fun.
are you implying? That I died? That I'm some kind of imposter?
I literally need the frame before it. Come on. Oh, it's Meteor. Okay. So you got Meteor. And you got Aerith. Oh my god. Wait a minute. Do you guys realise what that was? Do y'all realise what that is? I'm not going to spoil it. But I think we all know. She did shit. Found it. I'll leave that there for a minute. I'll just leave that there for a minute. Oh no, we've got to go through it all over again. Is it a crossover of memories? They could still change it. It doesn't have to follow into it. It could still cross over. We don't know. Because one thing the Whispers did is they showed glimpses of the future and how fate could potentially be changed. They could change fate. And I think that's something they might start playing with. Different parallel universes could have different outcomes. And I think them doing CrisisCore is obviously because CrisisCore is a 1-for-1. It looks like it's a 1-for-1. But they'll make it a 1-for-1, but the story will be canon to the remake. It won't be because if you notice the name CrisisCore wasn't called remake or anything. We're going to go back into that. But it wasn't called a remake or a remaster. I like how they're cleverly using words because it's a remake of CrisisCore, but it's for this canon, which I think is important. I think it's great that they're remaking it for this canon. Not for, Well, this is it. This is like, we know what's going to happen in this part.
Be changed ever. But the future, even if it has been written, can be changed.
Another line. Look at this line. Hold up. Look at this line. But the future, even if it has been written, can be changed. So there's this theory going around that I'm not going to call it a sequel, but it's like a different parallel. Like they've seen, like Aerith may have seen what happens. Alternative realities, yeah. So maybe they can prevent Meteor hitting the planet in a different way. But the future, even if it's been written, even if it seems like it's set in stone, it could change. As they say in 13.2, if you change the future, you can changes the past or whatever. But like, if you maybe you can change the time of order of events. Maybe we can save Aerith. Who knows? Aerith has a DeLorean. But yeah, that's kind of pog. That's kind of big as well. Like that, I feel like that's really important. Really, really important detail. This is gonna be perfect now for tomorrow when I start the remake with you all. I mean, we could talk about this all stream. Honestly, it's been mad. Okay, I didn't expect that. I would have been fine at CrisisCore. Holy, that's crazy. Right, let's go back to CrisisCore.
Boy, oh boy.
Look at the graphics. I feel like that's the difference. Like, I knew this would be PS4 and stuff because of the graphics, but like this looks cool. This looks very cool. And I was trying to figure out, please don't be a mobile game. I was like, I don't care. I'm glad it's not a mobile game. I'm glad it's a proper game. This looks really good.
The price of freedom is steep.
And the PS5 version will be like the remake. So yeah, this is awesome.
Zach speaking.
Making progress, Zack.
Multi-platform, yeah.
And Geo.
Early days.
I can cut loose, right?
The reason why it's multi-platform is it's canon. It's part of. I would say it's part of the Remake 1 project. You know how the second part's called Rebirth. Final Fantasy VII Remake being called Remake there might be an underlying reason where it's called Remake. Maybe it's not a remake of the game. Maybe it's like with remade time. I'm telling you, time travel or alternative realities is a thing in the remake.
Within reason.
Yeah, it does it exactly like it.
Showtime.
I've seen the start of the game. Like, down to like this up here. This system was in the original game, wasn't it? Like, I've seen some of it. This was in the original game. So, and the fact that they kept this system in, I think is awesome. So first I was thinking remake, but this is obviously not called remake because it's canon to the current recent Final Fantasy VII games, which is the only way to call them now.
Soldier First Class Genesis.
And Genesis is in it. So now feel free to correct me on the details here, but I'm sure there was a copyright issue with Genesis, unless they just, or was it his actual name? I can't remember. There's a reason why they couldn't ever use him in his space or his, but isn't something to do with the voice actor or something in real life or the person it's based on? But something about it made like CrisisCore almost untouchable. I don't know in detail about it, but like, yeah, I think there was something about it. But
A month ago, he went missing during a mission in Wutai.
You know, I've never actually seen you use that.
also, this preps up anyone who's not played CrisisCore for the Wutai War stuff, which is going to be really good canon for the main Final Fantasy VII remake arc.
Don't you think it's sort of a waste?
Use brings about wear, tear, and rust.
No, I think this is more of a. This isn't a remaster. This is a remake. This is far beyond what a remaster is. But it's a 1-for-1 more. It's more like a 1-for-1 remake because it's going to be part of the canon that we're playing in the remake arc. And for that to work, it has to be considered a remake or completely fresh. Because a remake is a game made from the ground up. A remaster is a remaster is just using the same game and then just improving it. This is a 1-for-1. This is remake, but it's just redone with the same mechanics.
And that's a real
At least I guess we're guessing that it is.
waste.
Because this interface here, the battle feels very remakey. I don't know. But yeah, it does give that remaster feel. But it looks very good for a remaster.
Project G gave birth to the man we know as Genesis.
There you go. Remaster uses the same engine. There's no way to use the same engine because CrisisCore is extremely outdated and it was a PSP game.
Project G.
Project
And the music's been redone as well.
Genesis.
Settle down, Zack the puppy. What do you know?
Shit, we're lapdogs!
That's I for it. I freak, sorry. That's Bahamut. Modulating phase, that's the line I was trying to think of. Modulating phase.
Heaven?
Not quite.
Yonder Aerith Pog!
It's a
Power
church.
Surge!
By the way, what is your dream? To become first? Is it?
I freak, actually.
No,
They say it in
to
16
become a hero.
Ah, good. Unattainable dreams are the best kind.
Embrace your dreams.
And whatever happens, protect your honor.
Pog, it's the end of the remake.
As soldier! Come and get it!
Wait, I remember that scene from the end of the remake. There, it's called Reunion. Right? So, I reckon, and I'm just speculating, that this game will end where the remake ends. Right? It's a perfect name for it, isn't it? So, this game will end where the remake ends, and if he meets Cloud and Group again. Because Aerith in the other trailer kind of gave out this opinion, like, I've been looking for you. And then in this game, you know, so he might find them, you know, or something. So, yeah. See, it's not called a remake or a remaster. I love the use of the words. They haven't gone Kingdom Hearts full crazy with it all. They've just gone, yeah, this is what we're doing. The original CrisisCore is going to be canon to the original game, whereas this is canon to the new wave of Final Fantasy VII games, what I'm going to call it now. I'm not even going to call them remakes anymore, because they're not. They're their own entities, 100%. If this doesn't confirm it for you, then, you know, you want Scopium. How are we all feeling? Are we Pog champing? Are we Poggers? Are we Pog champing? Processing. I don't think anyone saw it coming. I thought maybe some news. I said at best we'll get like a teaser reveal. They didn't show any new characters either. So, dude, yeah, they gave us. They didn't just give us the next game. They gave us a roadmap. They told us that it's going to be 3 parts, which means that a lot is coming in that next part, and that means reality being the new wave of Final Fantasy VII games, because that's what I'm going to start calling it now, going to be done based off it. Let's see, how many years for this? So that's 2023. Came out in 2020. 3 years. So by 2026, 2027 would be ironic that this all finishes. But in between then, they might do other stuff. You know, I can see them doing an episode on Before Crisis as well, like extra stuff like that in between. So there'll be extra DLC and stuff as well. And I honestly feel like they will do one more episode DLC before part 2. But mind you, they are giving us CrisisCore, so they don't necessarily need to. Final Fantasy Remake, it's called Remake for a reason now. I think it's very clear that the game's been called Remake for a reason. It's not, Remake Part 1, 2 and 3. It's Remake, Reunion, and I don't know, they're going like a Star Wars route, aren't they? You know, Remake, not Reunion, sorry, Rebirth. Rebirth says Remake, Rebirth, Renew, Resurgence, Return of the Jedi. Oh wait, wrong film. Final Fantasy VII, Revenge. We kill Sephiroth right at the end. Dun 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 dun. Recreate is a good one, actually. Recreate is a good one. But then that's the same as Rebirth. No, it has to be different. Remake, Rebirth. Really, it's done now, guys. Final Fantasy VII. It's really done now. It's really over. And obviously they're going with R, so we know that part 3 would be called Beginning will be with R. Like, that's the theme they're going with. Resurgence is a good one, yeah. Revengeance is a good one. Revengeance is a good one. Recopium. I gotta say, I did say that things will start picking up in 2023 onwards. For gaming. The gaming events have been really good recently. Like, the last 2 weeks have been kind of nutty with the reveals and stuff with Final Fantasy 16, and I thought that was a big deal. Then you got this, what we just witnessed. Holy cow, what we just witnessed with the part 2, the CrisisCore. It's everything that everyone wanted. Everybody wanted a CrisisCore redo, and everybody wanted part 2. Literally, they dropped it all at once. Square have been busy. They've had time to sort things out now. This is awesome. It's really good to see that they're finally moving forward. And they're giving us a roadmap of what's actually, how the order events. We don't have to sit there and figure out how many versions and how many games are going to be and stuff like that. I always thought in my head, I was thinking, there'll be 3 for 3 discs. That'd be a really cool idea. And they're actually doing it. Yeah, Silk Song, like, dude, we got 2023 is going to be a great year for gaming. It's going to be, I gotta finish Hearts of Fun this year. I gotta finish Remake and Hearts of Fun this year. I have no choice. I gotta do it all before Christmas. We're gonna be busy over the next few months, chat. We're gonna be very busy. No, I don't think they're half-baked. At best, I think they'll delay. I think they might. My prediction is they'll delay it till like early 2024. As long, if they focus on quality, they won't care about releasing it for Christmas because they know people will buy it anyway. We can start looking for things together. We can start finding things in the remake. Oh my god, we can start finding things in the remake. Like, see if there's any like foreshadowing in the remake that they've already set up for Rebirth. This does sound awesome. This is, see, you guys are like, when are you gonna play the? When you guys asked me, why did you wait? Why did you wait to play the remake? Square called me and they were like, just wait. They were like, guys, they were like, Marsh, just wait until this. Play it on the 17th. Trust me. No, I'm just kidding. I picked the perfect date to start replaying the remake, didn't I? I knew all along, guys. I think they're going to change the story of events that we know it as. I do think it's a different... They gave off scenes from the end of the original game on the first remake, didn't they? It's like, yeah, it's going to... I love the fact that it's going down a different route. I do. I was like... I know a lot of people were like, oh, you can't change it. To see... And then from the reaction of that, they'll be like, right, we can redo CrisisCore now. We'll remake it and put it into the current canon. Fix it into the story as a tie-in as well, to see if people want it. Like, it's almost like they teased it to test it to see if people wanted it. Then everyone was like, are you going to remake or remaster CrisisCore? Hello? And then boom, they did it. Yeah, it will take some time to say Rebirth over Part 2, but that's fine. I'm going to make it my goal to call it Rebirth all the time rather than Part 2, because it's not a remake. I think it now, all those people said, it's not a remake of Final Fantasy VII. They were kind of right. But it's called remake for a reason, and now we're beginning to see that. And I think that's a really cool concept, to be honest with you. It's nice that they're still putting... This is what I love about the remake. It's like, they've put a fresh concept on a game and story that we thought we already knew. They've put something fresh into it. So yeah. I still feel like the first segment of all those trailers, I know it was an advertising moment for them, but they honestly could have done... There was no shout out to the original game, that 25-year celebration event. Alright, there's not one shot of the original game there. I think, yeah, the multiple universe, not multiple universes, sorry, like a different realities, because that would work really well with the Whispers theory as well. And I do hope that the Whispers are still a part of the story. I know everybody likes them, but they've put them in now, so they have to kind of keep going with it, steer into it, you know, give them a purpose. I thought it would have been, I thought CrisisCore would have been the last part of that event, to be fair. And they could have. Let's be honest with you, they could have ended that event at CrisisCore. And we would have been like, that's pretty awesome, they're giving us CrisisCore, that's really good, it's really soon. And people would be like, oh, but what about the remake? And they literally could just show the face of one of the characters or something. But then, boom! It's not called a remake. So, we were just saying earlier on, they're not remakes. They are, well, they are, but they're not. Like, they're redone, they're their own entities. It's probably something we've all got used to. Because the first part's called remake, because now we begin to see there's a reason why they called it remake. Five head marketing as well, by the way. And then in CrisisCore, it's called reunion, which means it will end where we want it to in the canon for the remake, which then goes into Rebirth. Because, wait a minute, they're giving us CrisisCore. Think about it. For those who don't know, because most people would have just played 7 and not even played CrisisCore, right? So they're going to give us CrisisCore this winter, hype us up, then we play part 2, and then we know when they do the flashback, because they can now implement parts of the flashback with Zack correctly, effectively. They could rechange the event. You could see a Tifa perception of it all, or a Cloud perception of it all, as it's merging together in Rebirth. Like, it could be like, they could really do a really good job of it and redeliver it. Like, it would be mental. Like, because they're going to give us the full backstory for CrisisCore before we're going into it. It could be a spoiler story, but maybe the idea is maybe we're supposed to find out early. Maybe the whole point of retelling the story, yeah, maybe the whole point they're retelling us the story, because CrisisCore is going to give everything away, right? So CrisisCore Reunion is going to give. We've already had this song. CrisisCore is going to give everything away, right? CrisisCore will definitely give everything away. about the truth. But they're changing the story, so maybe that's the whole point. Maybe Meadle doesn't happen. Who knows? They don't actually have to add Meadle. Yeah, of course there's going to be a few surprises. The reason why I said that they want to fit it into the current canon, they don't want to put it into the old canon, because obviously Final Fantasy VII, Dirge of Cerberus, CrisisCore, Before Crisis, Advent Children is all part of the original canon. Now this is something. This is its own entity. It's got nothing to do with the original, but then it's like a different order of events. With the same character. Remember how Tifa said out loud about her being an imposter? Yeah, exactly. So he says, so let's find the line, because that's a really good point. It's literally around this part here. Wait, you're implying that I died. So he said before that, what is Sephiroth's endgame? Also, maybe Sephiroth is really trying to save the world. Maybe he is. Okay, that's not true. Sephiroth's always going to be the bad guy. You change that, it's going to be a bit later. But what is maybe we actually find out what Sephiroth's goal really is. Maybe because he's like the smartest soldier alive, right? Like they just made it out to that he snapped and had some and then got taken over by Jenova, and you fight Jenova version. Maybe he's five-heading everything, and he's just like, actually, I'm gonna control all the universes into one. I saw you lying there. I figured it was too late. Now that is in the original. There's a line that's very similar to it in the original. It might not be that exact line, but when Cloud sees Tifa, it's funny when this song's playing. I think it's when this song's actually playing, and they're retelling the actual events where Cloud's like, I genuinely thought you were dead, so that's when he went in charge and attacked Sephiroth, right? She doesn't say anything in the remake. In part 1, when you see Tifa for the first time, when you're in Sector 7, you're walking around, when Tifa's showing you around the slums, and you go to the weapon dude who has a go at you, right? Cloud's like, yeah, it's been 5 years, and then Tifa looks at him and kind of goes, like she's questioning why he's saying 5 years. And that's when she's starting to realise things are wrong. Like there is little nods to the 5 years 7 thing in the remake. She stumbles, yeah. So she still hasn't, she's still hiding this. Again, she's still being Tifa. She's still hiding, trying to figure out what's with Cloud. Because I think during the course of events, she realises that Cloud is not the Cloud she knew. And when she saves him, said if you can't die if you're going to try and be, you can't save everybody if you're going to be dying. When she grabs him at the top of the Shelburne building, because that doesn't happen in the OG either. Like it's almost like she's starting to catch on and see like he's doing things he's not supposed to do. So he's either seen different visions, or he's like, you definitely died. So his memories are so messed up. Maybe he's remembering different realities. You know how Cloud remembers things incorrectly in his head, and there's a scene in the remake where. When Cloud drops a tear because he has a vision of Aerith, right? Like another death scene, right? He has that vision, right? So he can see other realities for whatever reason. It might be the Jenova cells, for I think that would be a really good way to explain it. But it might be the Jenova cells actually like giving him different realities, or it might be Sephiroth who's been puppeteering the whole thing. There are two options. Two potential theories that I think people have already made bigger theories elsewhere. It's just an idea. It's just an idea I thought of literally just now. Like he has visions of other realities, and then because he's touched everybody with whispers at the end, they all start, and it's because of Aerith. Like he's touched Aerith, who's already seen these different realities. So, and then Red 13 explains that when he sees them, because he's like, they are, they're trying to keep everything within fate. We've now broken fate, effectively, because we've stopped the harbingers of fate, the whispers. So anything can happen. And they end the remake by saying the unknown journey continues is how the game ends, right? So, which says to us that we don't know what's going to happen next. Yeah, unknown. So it's kind of one of those... He might be thinking she died in a different version, when he saw her die, or he didn't know what happened. Or it could just be down to the fact that he thought she was dead, so he went in charge and attacked Sephiroth. Like, the flashback could be different, and it could be really good that it's different. And I think seeing this, people are ready for that change now. When people played the remake originally, they're like, these whispers, what is this? You're changing the story? People leave, Square, you're ruining the remake. Actually, I think people are more open to it now, because it makes it exciting. The fact that we don't know what's going to happen next in the Final Fantasy storyline is kind of crazy, don't y'all think? Yeah, that's what I was saying. So he has the vision of something that hasn't yet happened or has happened elsewhere, because he cries, so he drops a tear, doesn't he? It's like he's experienced it already. Like, he wouldn't cry because he's at this point he's only just met Aerith in the game, right? So he hasn't. When you just meet somebody a few days into it, you don't have that deep connection with them straight away. It's very unlikely that's a thing. But actually, he does then, and then, like, and after that, it's like she's suddenly really important to him. Like, it's almost like he's experienced losing her before. So it's kind of like, whose reality is it, you know? And she doesn't want to leave Midgard because then she knows she has to go on this journey that she knows will end her. That she has to potentially sacrifice her. That's why when the game finishes, she's like, I miss the still sky. Because she even says that when you first meet her, she loves the still sky. She doesn't want to leave it. She loves, you know, the metal sky, which is Midgard. Now, if it goes too crazy, and the third part is you have 8 different clouds, and like, I experienced this, and you have like the ultimate Sephiroth, I'm gonna be like, they're gone a bit too far. But like, I suggested that ages ago, Kylie. I said the flashback will be a tutorial into part 2's game. So for those who haven't played, for those who ironically haven't played part 1 or played it on a different system, they can get the tutorial for this. The game will start. I always said the game will start straight and calm. In fact, you won't even be in calm. The game will start at the flashback. The game will start as the flashback. Like, the introduction will happen, and it'll be the introduction, but the overvoice will be Cloud, and the guy is talking in the hotel about the story, and then you finish the flashback, and everyone's in the hotel, and you leave calm, do whatever. Barnabas, thanks for hanging out. Have a good evening. I'm also very excited to see the use of new characters. Red 13, for those who don't realise it, already has his moveset. It's actually already in the remake. It does baffle me why they never allowed us to play him in the remake, because he actually does have a moveset and a limit break and everything. They actually did it. They created Red 13 perfectly, and it could have still been used in endgame. But obviously, we'll be able to use Red 13, and the battle system, are we going to have all the characters? Because when we were in Shinra, Red 13's still in the party, even though he's just not a controllable party member. So, are they all going to be there, kind of thing? That would be an interesting battle system. Or will you experience 2 different timelines? Right, guys, let's split up. We're going to go this way, you're going to go this way, and then we'll have, like, you know how Final Fantasy 13 has different ways? Or Final Fantasy 10, but then that would work as that would have to make it would have to be turn-based. I think that would make the game too easy, Mav. Don't you think? If we could switch in a JRPG characters at will, it would make it too easy. Or they'd have to make the game seriously hard to balance out that. Unless they're just there in the background attacking. As long as they don't do like a Stranger Paradise where the character's there and they're talking. Because it would be good to have them there all the time, so that they can be a part of the story. Yeah, but they're going to have to add something in to implement new characters into the game. Because most of the game, you have the 4 main characters, right? And at no point have you really got all 4 of them until like... Well, until Shinra, really. Like, at no point during the remake for you, it was very cleverly done. And when you did get Red 13, when you were in Hojo's lab, Red 13's there, but they even designed him, gave him all abilities, and they even gave him fire. I don't know if anyone noticed, but he casts the same spells he does that he's equipped with in the original Final Fantasy VII game. I don't know if anyone noticed that. I didn't notice that. I'll bring that back on the remake, but he actually has the same moves. Although I've never seen him use bio, that being said, but he has a limit break and everything, so he's already done. So he doesn't need redesigning, just probably balancing with damage. But yeah, they could also like have like, okay, you have 2 different parties and they go different ways. Yeah, 5 characters. Aerith, Barrett, Cloud, Red 13. Hold up, I don't know the end of the DLC. I'll take it Yuffie's not there. That's good then. But they'll obviously, now without anyone trying to tell me any spoilers about the DLC, because I don't know it yet, Yuffie will be introduced, Sid will be introduced because he's part of the original canon anyway, and Vincent. They'll all be disc 1. They're all in the original disc 1. So, assuming that the timeline is still going to follow, assuming that the journey they'll take is still going to be on the path, I reckon they'll still be in June on. By the way, the Rufus Parade scenes. The Rufus Parade scene will be in Rebirth. Holy cow, it's going to be a fun section. But you've got the Rufus Parade, you know, where you might meet one of the characters. And we can finally see Red 13. You know, do 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 do. So yeah, you'd have the, you know, the Rufus scene. You'd have all of that stuff. Then you'll go across Gold Saucer. I reckon all of that's going to be in the next section, in Rebirth. Like, they'll cover all of. I literally honestly feel they're going to go all the way up to the Northern Crater, beyond Aerith, and go all up to Northern Crater and end the game with the meteor landing in. So it's like a really bad ending. So we'll have the bad ending. We'll have what's going to look like a really bad ending at the end of Rebirth. The rebirth of the meteor. Why is it called Rebirth? Do you know what I mean? Like, something's being rebirthed. Sephiroth is finally casting the ultimate meteor. A meteor is definitely coming because they keep visualizing, and maybe they're thinking we need to stop the meteor from coming before it's even a thing. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Gold Saucer, but I think Def said this because I had the same thought and I thought it was a genius idea. With Gold Saucer, I think the only stuff that we can do in the game would be story, and if they release a DLC with loads of side games and stuff, yeah, DLC, but like with loads of side games and stuff, I think that's the better way to do it, because it could be like another 20, it could be like another 10-12 gigabytes, but then they can give us loads of mini games and then we can just have loads of fun, and it'll have its own in-game currency of GP, and we could just enjoy it. I'd pay for that, honestly. I'd pay for that fun and have fun with that. Like, this is junky as well. The particle games are junky. The fact that Rebirth is written in red tells me that Genesis is involved. I mean, I don't know. It depends what they do with Reunion. It depends what they do with CrisisCore in Reunion. Red can mean anything. Red can mean love, red can mean death, red can mean revenge. Like, it doesn't actually have anything to do with Genesis necessarily. But I don't know too much about CrisisCore to really make that judgment. Yeah, but Gold Saucer is bigger than Fort Conda. Fort Conda is one minigame, whereas Gold Saucer has lots of minigames, and you'd want it to be a big theme park kind of setting, you know? No, Limit, they hired me. That's why I started the remake, return to the remake tomorrow, because I knew this was being dropped today. Why do you think I'm streaming, guys? Duh. Maybe Cecil's endgame is bring Genesis and War Cloud to his poetry. I don't think the date. I don't believe there'll be a choice on the date. I reckon the game will auto give you Aerith, just like the game auto gives you Aerith if you don't push anything in the original game. Like, getting the Aerith date is the easiest way to do it, because it's gonna have a lot of foreshadowing, especially if Rebirth is having the full story, unless the game ends differently and Northern Crater, it just ends at the Northern Crater. Like, who knows? Who knows what could happen? If the game ends anywhere before Northern Crater, if Rebirth ends anywhere before Northern Crater, the journey to Northern Crater will be the end of the third part of the game. The third sequence of games. That would be my final thoughts on it. But we won't know that until, you know, winter 2023. Which is a nice way of saying, yeah, 2024, give or take. Tifa never really addresses why she didn't die. I know, we all know that Xanagan obviously saved her, took her to Midgar and all that kind of stuff. But what I'm saying is like, she took a pretty slice. Now, I always thought they cut her in half. Just on the animation, but no, you just cut through her, right? But she's like, yeah, even I thought I was going to die. And then, like, it's just kind of weird how she survives the fatal wound, but not everyone else dies from it, you know? Although apart from Cloud turns into Giga Chad Super Soldier for some whatever reason. I also think CrisisCore Reunion will probably give us more information than we think we're going to get. Like, all they showed us was a bit of gameplay. Like, the story is what people have been paying attention to. Because I reckon they're gonna use it as a build up to this, let's be honest with you. Because there were scenes that I recognised from the CrisisCore thing as well. Pog, it's the end of the remake! I don't know who that character is, unfortunately, but I'm sure, like, even if I don't get to play the original CrisisCore, I reckon this would be enough anyway. Because if you guys are saying it looks very one for one, and it does. Oh, there you go, look, there's Sephiroth. Project G gave birth to the man known as Genesis. Project G. They'll talk about all this stuff. There it is. There it is. Proof. Proof. As revealed in the broadcast, there are currently 4 Final Fantasy VII projects. So not all of them have been revealed, by the way. Yeah, you clicked and showed something else before, but yeah. It does sound weird, but it says here, look. Being designed that people can enjoy this game, whether you know the original game or not. But that's Square. They won't release a game that you have to play the first version of the game first. Before they start saying, this happened in the... No, well, it doesn't matter actually. Actually, none of it matters, guys. But this is also proof that this has nothing to do with the original Final Fantasy VII. Which is POG, because that means it leaves the original alone. So we can be in the stand and enjoy it, because there will still be things that we see coming. We've seen Holy in that trailer. We've seen the part of that scene. I can't wait to share the intention behind naming the first title remake. I told you there was a reason why they called it remake. And the second title Rebirth in time. I told you it wasn't a remake. Oh my god, here we go, right. Second title Rebirth. In time I hope to reveal what the third title will be called. And where this journey will ultimately lead. Oh my god, I'm actually getting excited. Like, this is actually really cool. The development of Rebirth has been progressing rapidly since we adopted a new development structure. A title of this scale in which everything is interconnected, even before production began, is truly rare. It sounds like they're having a lot of fun with the project. In fact, some development has already begun on the third title. There you go, confirmation. So they're tying them all in together already. They already started working on the third title. That might just be storyboarding for all we know. I myself started on the development and working towards the completion of the series. We will work to deliver this title to fans with the same amount of enthusiasm from now until we reach the end. So, do you know what I love about what we just read? We cracked this code, we cracked all this, we said these are possibilities before we even read this. Quick! Someone tell the entire Final Fantasy VII community. Final Fantasy VII Remake Revisited, Chapter 1, The Destruction of Maker Reactor 1. As part of the ongoing festival taking place, beware of spoilers. Who designed the purchase of vending machines throughout the train station, and why were these... what are they beginning to say, like... Wait a minute, so this is like... Hold on a minute, wait a minute. So they're saying there's been breadcrumbs. So there's potentially... I can't make tomorrow's morning's things, that's why I'm doing my bit now. So there's going to be breadcrumbs. So they're saying that, oh man, playing the remake's going to be so good tomorrow. Because there's going to be breadcrumbs in the remake that we're now going to start looking for. Man, it's not just me playing the remake tomorrow, is it? Everyone's going to be doing it. I feel like we've just done a 2-hour analysis. Who designed the posts and the vending machines throughout the train stations? Why were these designs chosen? I designed these together with several other ones. Put the room with references. Look at that water. Look at that water. We put a number of Final Fantasy references and Shinra promotion into products being advertised to enhance immersion in the world game. that said that some designs are rejected because they were too similar to advertising slogans by real world companies. How interesting is that? If we managed to put together a full timetable for the trains in Midgar, I reckon we could all become railway employees for real. Oh my god, look at that. I never even noticed that. When considering what kind of gap there would be between trains, we knew it was a service in a major city. But also, so they actually thought about the train times. They actually thought about the train times. I never noticed that. That's kind of awesome. I'm going to be looking at that tomorrow now. When we're putting together the script of Final Fantasy Remake, we did play through... Look how cool that is. Look, they did. I'm glad they did. When we putting through the script for Final Fantasy VII, we did play through the original game and watch play videos for reference. They watched people's Let's Plays. And we didn't often refer to the original script directly. Instead, we put a lot of emphasis on the feelings and impressions that we got from particular scene when we played the original, enhance these moments. So it's like they played it and went through the feelings that we did so they could recreate it. That's awesome. Time for the seven script needed to do is convey. I know I'm doing this in the wrong order. I know it's kind of annoying. How long? No, it's not that long. As Cloud switches to Punisher mode, it looks as though he takes up a stance similar to how Sephiroth fights in the original Final Fantasy VII. True. Is this intentional? Oh, this is a question. Well, these are Q&As. This is like a Q&A. Is it something you learned from the soldier, or is it him imitating ex-hero? We didn't specifically set out to imply a detail like this. We just wanted something that would clearly look different from Cloud's regular stance. We collaborated with the motion designers to find a ready position that would look good. That's kind of cool. I've never even thought about that. I didn't even think about it. His Punisher mode is literally the same stance. Too busy fighting, to be honest with you. It's like, now tomorrow I'll be like, look, it's Sephiroth, guys, it's Sephiroth. The list of elevators that the team take to get to the reactor core look cleaner than the versions in the original game, while it's given a complete overhaul. One of the important things of the remake is to depict the everyday lives of people in Midgar. True, I got that feeling. Yeah, they tried to make it feel like a proper city. And they do that when the reactor 1 blows up and everyone's terrified that they feel like they've been attacked by terrorists. I thought that was a really cool scene. I think that's overlooked so much, but I think when you're escaping from shit, when you've blown up reactor 1 and you're escaping trying to get through sector 8, that's really the storytelling there. Like their city's being attacked is huge, is so well done, and you can see like reactor 1's in flames in the background. Like all these questions I literally never saw anyone ask. Yeah, do you know what that is? Is that no one actually asks these questions. Square asks these questions themselves because they're what they want to talk about. They're like, we don't want to answer all the other stuff because everyone's going, and even if they did look through all the real feedback, they're probably going, okay, they're just asking when the remake part 2 is. They're just asking when the remake part 2 is. They're just asking when the remake part 2 is. Right, fine. Do you know what? Screw you all. It's not even a remake, by the way, guys. So it's a brand new story. Yeah, didn't see that coming, did you? Yeah, we could skip the elevator one. The laser beam game was added to it's a mini game. I wouldn't call that a mini game. We love Jesse's reaction to the laser mini game. Do we? That's the question that got asked about Jesse, was it? Jesse has always had a laid-back and easygoing personality. Did they play the remake? On one side of that is how she does things at ease attention to other members in the group. Kind of true. It's not just Jesse, other members of Avalanche. Later on, they had tricks and implement. Okay. Why is there a choice in the bomb detonator? Does this impact anything in the game? Having the player set the timer to increase the feeling of urgency during this game mission after defeating the Scorpion Center was the essence of that was added. The effect of this choice is to add more reward Jesse gives. Add more to the reward Jesse gives you in Chapter 2. Does it? I don't think anyone ever selected 30 minutes or no. Did anyone try 30 minutes? What did she give you? Also not having the timer in the fight like the original was because we felt that it gave a lot of stress to the player who not used to. I agree with that. Like, I felt that the timer should have been on the fight with the guard scorpion, but then it would add a lot of stress to the player. That being said, maybe in hard mode, and maybe they can consider this for the next hard mode for Rebirth, is that you play the game in the original, then when you're playing the game on hard mode, that timer's there for the situations. So say like, yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, say if you're in that situation again, and there's a timer, that timer that could have been active in hard mode, you know? Like, you have 20 minutes or 30 minutes to beat Guard Scorpion and get out the reactor. Because that would be a really cool way of doing it. And that would, like, because you have to be good at the game that way. She gives you some material then also says, oh, this is for you also. Oh, okay. Because I was just thinking, do you get something else that's not the summon material? I can't believe they didn't add in the meme about attacking while the tail's up. Because it could have been like, Barrett's like, attack while the tail's up. And then like he shoots and then it like does like a scene where they attack, where it attacks and they just dodge it. Carl's like, no, that's a stupid idea. Why would you attack while the tail's up? You know, that kind of thing. Like, it would have been a really cool meme when they never did it. That was a wasted opportunity for me. If I was part of the development team, I would have said that. So add it in. The players will love the meme. Trust me. Even though this guy our sick one. Is Barrett strong enough to wield Claret's blade in one hand? Surely. Look at his arms compared to his arms. If you say no, come on, dude. Like, look at his little chicken wings here. These chicken wings wield this. Yeah, alright, buddy. I know he's got Genova cells in him, but come on, wake up. But then it does question Sephiroth's Masamune is like too long to be a normal sword, right? You can't actually sheath it or anything. It weighs around 40 kilograms and would be many factors required to actually wield it effectively rather than just brawn. Basically, it shows how amazing Cloud is at just being able to use it elegantly. Well, the only way to show that is if you have Barrett try to pick up the sword. What are you talking about KFC? Did I miss something here? You keep saying KFC. I'll post that as well. Okay. Yeah. It'd be like, I'm trying to think of an example. You know when Thor, you know in, spoilers, but you know in one of the Marvel films, one of the Avengers films, Thor puts the hammer down on the table and like they all try to pick it up as a joke. Like Iron Man, they all try to use abilities. Like Captain America and that, and none of them can move it. Well, technically none of them can move it. Like, it's that side scene, it's nothing major. But they could have done that meme with Cloud. Like, he drops his sword, something stupid happens, and like, or he ducks, and he drops the sword, and then like, trying to, like, he's like, Cloud's, I can't grab your sword, it's too heavy. And he's like, oh, hold on, let me... So this is like part 1 of the series they want to do in the remake. Each article will cover 1 chapter. Yeah, maybe we can cover that. If they do that daily, we can cover that on each episode of the remake. Which I might not now just break into 2 games. I might just play it every day. I don't know yet. I have to YouTube all these yet as well, so it goes down to when I can edit them. Yeah, the 3 parts is awesome. I had this theory in my head that it will be 3 parts because of 3 discs, and I really, really, really wanted them to do that. And they really are. And I think that's a really good nod. Like 3 discs, three parts. It's like disc 1, disc 2, and disc 3. Now, I'm convinced because there's only 3 games, there's no world map, and people need to let the idea go of a free roam world map. I still think we'll get things like Midgard Zulum, and if it's not in the main game, it will. No, you have to see Midgard Zulum because you see the snake on a spike. But then again, it could just be an arena fight. You know, I never said. I said that ages ago. I said yeah, it'd be 3 part. 3 parts. It would be short since part time. Think about it. Remaking the original, it did feel long, but the journey from Calm to Rocket Town isn't that long. It just feels longer because of the world map. Take out the world map. Reality being, we'll have the flashback, and then we'll get in a car, and the game will automatically take us to like Junon. That's what I think. I think we'll skip through the marsh, the chocolate, because there's nothing important there. We don't even need, as far as I know, we won't need. There's no reason to visit Fort Condor. They can just add that as a side thing, you know. You know, pick a destination. You go to Fort Condor now. You know, like a ... map, and you just select where you're going in world map. We're not taking it out. It's kind of like you have the map. So the Stranger Paradise had a map like the Final Fantasy 1 world, right? And you would pick where you want to go, like that. You're just gonna go there, and then they could throw some cutscenes and stuff in there as well. Yeah, but that's because you're in Midgar. Like, and you travel from Midgar and places. You couldn't explore. You could only stay, because it's going to be chapter based, right? It's episodic. Everything about the remake, everything about these games is episodic and chapter based, yeah? It's like a book. It's like a different episode or different, it's like they're like their own books. For there to be a chapter in Calm, it would probably be the prologue. So the Calm will probably be like, it will be known as prologue or chapter 1. And it'll be like the tutorial, flashback, and all that kind of stuff like. And then chapter 2 is Junon. Like, they'll be like, right, we've got to go to Junon. We need to infiltrate Shinra. And we're going to go and chase. Because obviously he says at the end of Remake, we're going to go and pursue Sephiroth. I'm thinking the original game. But like I still think they'll have the same order. Because you're saying like, oh, they've got a lot to cover. We don't know what they're going to cover. We don't even know if it's going to be the same. It's called Rebirth. We don't even know if it's going to be the same kind of like path. But I still think you'll just travel to, you'll automatically go to Junon, then you'll take the boat over to Costa del Sol, then you'll do the mountains, which will automatically put you into cutscene for Gold Saucer, which then lands into Dine's thing. That's 4 or 5 chapters at best. That's assuming they don't add anything new. And then Cosmo Canyon. They could put I feel like they do have to do Gonaga. Because it's where Zack's from. Like, it'd be cool to have like them as side like a side quest. But then Cosmo Canyon, Nibble, that's 8 chapters. What's the original game got? 14 chapters? 15 chapters? Nibble 9, you know. Then chapter 9, 10, Rocket Town. So you got the Materia Keeper Cave from Nibelheim. Nibelheim, that's 2 chapters at least. Then you got Rocket Town, chapter 10. Then you got Temple of Ancients, chapter 11 and 12. Chapter 13, City of the Ancients. Chapter 14, Icicle Inn. They could probably do chapter 15. Chapter 15, chapter 14, Icicle Inn, all the way up to like, you know, all that. Chapter 15, Northern Crater. Chapter 16, finale of Rebirth. What's the original? Part 1 had 18. Oh man, there's loads of space then. If Part 1 had 18 chapters, you could easily get all that content into one game. Think they'll fit it all in? If you got 8, say if they follow the same thing of 18 chapters. And I'm naming all these places and I've done it in what, 16? Including Temple of Ancients, that could be 3 parts to be fair. City of Ancients could be 2 parts. But like, if you give it 18, 19, and it's a PS5 disc, PS5 game, so the memory is bigger. So PS4, if you're an expert in this field, correct me if I'm wrong, but just like PS1 discs, PS2 discs, PS3 discs, PS4 discs, there will be limited data that they can provide, right? So now this is a PS5 level only. They can put more chapters in the game. They can put more into the game. So it could be a 25 chapter game for all you know. Which would be fine. Which means we're getting at least a 60 to 80 hour game experience. I assume that's going to be the same pattern. So it could easily be done. It could easily fit as much as they want into a PS5 version. Exactly, PS5 can handle more. So if 18 chapters in a PS4 game was possible, Rebirth could easily do 30 chapters for sure, right? It can handle bigger environments. I still don't think we're getting a world map. I think it's copium's the thing. I think putting a world map in the game will restrict what we can have actually story content-wise. There's less space, but they're giving us more. But the game's file size is still smaller than a COD game. Like they actually compress their data when they need to, you know. I think by then there'll be external SSD cards as well. There's gotta be, right? Like the whatever the PS5 uses. If they do it chapterless though, I think the chapters is a good system. I don't think changing that's a good idea. 7 years. 7-year project. It's been released in 2020, finishes in 2027. Yeah, well, I mean, I could be wrong with this, but there's a good chance that the PS5 has become more readily available now. The fact that games are all coming out and some big games, let's be honest with you, it's not just Final Fantasies that have been announced for 2023. There's a lot of companies that waited till 2023 to start releasing one of their games because they needed to get back in the office. They needed to get all their stuff done. Genshin Impact did really well because of things like the lockdown. Even though it was released before, and it was still big before, people needed a game to play during the lockdown. And a lot of people will fall into a game like Genshin because it was free as well. So, and all those companies, other companies went quiet because they couldn't get into offices. So it was kind of all really well. Still waiting for the Switch, not happening. But CrisisCore being released on all platforms as well, that's really poggers. Did it say it's on the Switch as well? I swear someone said it's on the Switch as well. I reckon that's Sony like, just put it everywhere. Just give us Rebirth. And they're like, okay. So I want to say thank you all for sharing the experience. Before that live stream happened, we spent an hour talking about why Final Fantasy VII is my favourite game, why we all loved it, what it was about us. That was a really fun experience. And then we went into bro. I want to make it very clear. I always have plans to start the return to the remake tomorrow. This was just the perfect way to set us up. So we can talk about more about the theories and stuff tomorrow. Now we can look for breadcrumbs on the remake.